Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark with his backyard forecast, and Joe Zone on sports. This is the Newswatch 16 update.
Another reason why the threat of nuclear war is on so many people's minds tonight is because it's the day after the controversial ABC TV film about the effects of nuclear war in a small town in Kansas. The movie was shown last night, and tonight many people are still reacting to the graphic detail shown in that program. Here at the First Presbyterian Church in Wilkes-Barre, some gathered to discuss the day after. Tonight's meeting was one of several held all across northeastern and central Pennsylvania.
I think I just felt a complete revulsion. I mean, even if it was theater, the whole prospect of the destruction of total creation revolted me.
The people who gathered here in Wilkes-Barre talked about the emotions they felt during and after the showing of The Day After.
Before The Day After was shown, Newswatch 16 took a telephone poll on the nuclear arms race. Now that all of you have had a chance to see the movie, we've decided to ask the same question again to see if The Day After had any effect on how you feel about the nuclear arms race. Well, the results are in. 48% of those of you who responded to our unscientific survey said you favor total nuclear disarmament. That's down from 55% who were in favor of getting rid of all nuclear weapons in our poll on Friday. The exact same percentage told us they favor a freeze or cutback of nuclear weapons. 15% today, 15% on Friday. And surprisingly, the number of people who favor building more nuclear weapons to deter war went up from 30% on Friday to 37% in today's poll. Just about the same number of callers responded to both of our unscientific polls, and it seems 7% who favored nuclear disarmament before seeing The Day After now favor a nuclear buildup to deter war. The Soviet Union may not be building as many nuclear weapons as we've been led to believe. U.S. intelligence officials have sent a new report to Congress that says since 1976, the Soviet military growth rate has not changed. What that means is the number of Soviet tanks, missiles, and ships rolling off the assembly line has not gone up at all. Not the steady increase the Reagan administration has been claiming. Still, White House officials say the U.S. must still build up its military to equal the nuclear and other weapons the Soviets do have.
It's not the danger from nuclear weapons, but a possible danger from a nuclear power plant that brought some farmers out to a meeting in Berwick tonight. Night Beat reporter Bob Costantini says the farmers were given some advice on what to do in case of a nuclear disaster.
The safety lights of the Pennsylvania Power and Light Nuclear Power Plant in Salem Township can be seen from Paul Young's farm, less than 2 miles away. Young knows a nuclear accident at the plant would probably mean leaving the area. The milk cows he's tended for many years would have to stay.
They would have to leave them, and if it was bad enough, disaster, they'd have to be destroyed. But I think we'd take our families first and worry about the cows later.
But a lifetime of work and a lot of money need not be given up as lost if some radioactive contamination falls on the farm. Only a handful of farmers learned that at this meeting in Berwick. If the contamination isn't that bad, a cooperative extension agent says the animals can be sheltered. The more solid the shelter, the better.
Poured concrete building might take out as much as 95% of the radiation, protect your animals from 95%.
But in the event of even minor contamination, one question remains.
Here are animals supposedly going to be producing milk to be sent to the public, or hogs that are going to be butchered. Who's going to buy them? No one's going to want them.
A spokesman for PP&L says any income lost because of an accident can be recovered through the company and the government.
There's nuclear liability insurance. Right now it's a little over $560 million. That money is there for such an event.
In fact, you can't buy insurance to cover problems caused by nuclear power plant accidents, even if you live right around here. Only the federal government has such a policy, which covers all nukes in the U.S. In the early 1970s, that was seen as a way of promoting nuclear power plants. And what that means is, if there is an accident here at this plant, the federal government will cover the damages. Bob Costantini, Newswatch 16, Salem Township.
Still ahead, we'll tell you what's going on with the strikes around here.
Plus, a little later, the woman who's walking across the country to try and bring peace to the world. Her story as Newswatch 16 Update continues.
Serving all of northeastern and central Pennsylvania, this is wnep-tv.
There's no progress tonight in talks to try and end a teacher strike in Schuylkill County. The two sides in the Tri-Valley School District got together tonight and talked for about 3 hours. When it was all over, there was still no settlement between the 66 striking teachers and the Tri-Valley School Board. No new talks are scheduled. The strike affects about 1,100 students in Schuylkill County's Tri-Valley District. Nolan?
Karen, no major trouble is reported tonight by striking unionized workers at Wilkes-Barre's Mercy Hospital. Over 500 nurses, technicians, and other workers walked off the job Saturday night. Tonight, they're still walking the picket line in a dispute over seniority and layoffs. Earlier today, police were called to the Wilkes-Barre Hospital when the picketers tried to stop delivery trucks from getting into the hospital. More than half of the patients at Mercy have been transferred to other hospitals because of the strike. As Newswatch 16's Bob Reynolds reports, that could add up to more jobs and money for other hospital workers.
As the strikers picket, many of Mercy Hospital's patients are transferred to other Wyoming Valley hospitals. One of those is Nanticoke State General. Although they're having their problems at Mercy, some good may come out of the strike. Those benefits may be felt here at Nanticoke State General Hospital. If Mercy's strike drags on, more people needing care are expected to check into Nanticoke. If that happens, more bed space will be opened up.
We'll have to look for the staff because, again, we'll have the patients that we'll have to care for. And we naturally can't care for them without the proper staffing. And then the staffing concerns nurses primarily.
The 4 hospitals taking up the slack for Mercy are keeping a close watch on the situation. The strike may force some changes on them.
If the strike runs, particularly starting next week after the holiday period, and if the strike's still going on, I think we'll probably have to start taking a little closer look at the elective admissions.
But no matter how long Mercy's management and workers are at odds, all of the hospitals in Wyoming Valley say one thing. They are ready and able to make sure the patients come first. Bob Reynolds, Newswatch 16, Wilkes-Barre.
Still ahead, on the road to the UN.
But first, meteorologist Tom Clark will be on the trail to the backyard. Tom, what's going on out there?
Not a whole lot, Karen. It's quite a nice night out there. Lots of moonshine overhead, and I won't hear anybody complaining about the weather tomorrow. And my satellite picture will show why. And I'll have a look at that from the backyard when we come back.
How high will you try? $16,000 can be yours weekdays at 4.
Work is underway tonight to protect part of the Wyoming Valley from floods. But whether the project can be finished depends on government money. That's why U.S. Senator Arlen Specter was in Wilkes-Barre late this afternoon. He's pushing for a bill that would give the area $33 million to finish flood protection projects. For example, here along Riverside Drive in Wilkes-Barre, workers are raising the walls on the dikes to try and hold back any flood waters.
Well, certainly no flood weather today. It was absolutely glorious, Tom Clark. Will it last?
Would you like to see another, Karen?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Stand by. I have good news for you. Very nice in the backyard tonight, my friends, with a coat. It's almost comfortable out here. No wind, very tranquil. And overhead, there's a big moon shining overhead. And while I look at it, let me show you what it looks like. It was full yesterday. But you can see it's pretty large up there, and 248,000 miles away. And with no air or water on the moon, there is, of course, no weather. A very lonely place, especially for meteorologists. Now, let me show you the temperature coming up right there. 45 degrees, not too bad for a night in November. Humidity 52%, the wind west at 5, and the barometer is rising. A pretty good sign. There's the high today, 58 degrees in this backyard. It's going to get higher than that tomorrow. Get set. Record high 73, record low 16, and the low today 45 degrees. Now, let's go to Newswatch 16's color satellite photograph. Take a look at this. Clear skies over just about the entire southeastern portion of the country. This cloud line here is in line with wind currents in the upper atmosphere, the jet stream wind, those steering current winds. And so our weather coming into Pennsylvania tomorrow is coming from down in here, where there was lots of sunshine this afternoon and temperatures made it into the low 60s. And that will happen here tomorrow. But there's not going to be any school tomorrow out in Lander, Wyoming. They now have 13 inches of snow on the ground, and it is still coming down. Blizzard conditions with this storm system tonight coming out of the Rockies, and the first major snowstorm of the season will hit the upper Midwest in Nebraska and portions of Minnesota by tomorrow night with up to 8 to 10 inches of snow. But no snow for us. We are going to stay in the mild air, and a 70-degree air mass is going to try and work its way into here on Wednesday, and that will bring on some clouds and some rain by Wednesday night. And then a cold front from this storm will come through on Thanksgiving Day. Here's our forecast for tonight. Cold moonshine overhead. Dry as a bone out there. 37 the low in New Milford, 36 in Harvey's Lake. Tomorrow morning, 36 in Berwick, 35 in Selinsgrove. Down there in Palmerton, about 35 degrees. A cold start in the morning, but as we head through the midday and afternoon hours, plenty of warm sunshine tomorrow. Breezy in the afternoon, a southwest wind at about 15 miles per hour. But look at these high temperatures. My forecast high in Towanda, 60. 61 in Avoca, 59 in Hazleton, 63 in Middleburg, and about 61 in Hughesville. A good 12 to 15 degrees above normal for this time of year. And let's see how the weather tomorrow affects the Health Watch categories. Well, not too much of an effect. Average index values on all 4 categories, but that mood index is a high average. So you probably will feel pretty good tomorrow with all that sunshine and mild temperatures. 61 for the high after a morning low of 37. Showers moving in Wednesday afternoon and night. Some could be heavy. Still mild on Wednesday, near 60 degrees for the high. Some sunshine on Thanksgiving, nothing more than a passing shower as I see it now. But then colder air will come in Thursday night and Friday, only about 43 degrees for the high on Friday. So the record high tomorrow is 73 degrees. We won't break that, guys, but I'll take 61 any day in November.
Absolutely.
It'll be good.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks. Coming up, she's walking across the country for world peace.
The numbers on opening of bear season, plus the opening of another season. Joe Zone and sports next.
Hi, I'm Chad Booth.
And I'm Jane Adonisio. Tonight, PM Magazine visits the Everhart Museum in Scranton.
On our show, we'll be finding out about hidden messages in TV and how they can help you quit smoking, reduce stress, lengthen your life.
And then the Plant Man has a great idea just in time for Thanksgiving. It's a beautiful and easy-to-make Thanksgiving centerpiece.
And watch these divers come closer and closer to finding $200 million in pirate's gold in a real-life treasure hunt. That's tonight at 7 on WNEP-TV 16.
It's the Thanksgiving season, and usually this time of year, groups raffle or auction off turkeys for that holiday feast. Well, in California, they took that spirit too far. At a JC's fundraiser near Davis, California, a turkey went to the highest bidder, but police say the members also tried to auction off a prostitute. Several undercover cops paid $12.50 to go to the fundraiser. They say they also found drugs and gambling at the JC's clubhouse. Naughty, naughty.
Naughty, naughty, but the law conquered all there, right?
True meaning of the word butterball, right? Now,
okay.
Bear hunting. You read them, I just listen to them, that's all. Okay, let's go to the screen and find out about what's going on in the real world. If you didn't get a bear today, you'd better get one tomorrow, because it looks like there will be no extension. That's because the harvest, at least here in the Northeast, is running way ahead of the projected pace. As of 2 hours ago, when the check stations closed down for the night, 237 bears had been killed. That's 3 times last year's total. This check station in Chehola Falls reported the most kills so far in our area, 117. One of the reasons for the large harvest is the weather. More hunters, of course, were out. One of the nicest of the bears was this 540-pounder taken by Sherman Schoonover of Bangor, who last shot a bear about 30 years ago. The Game Commission in Harrisburg will review the kill today and decide tomorrow whether to extend the season to a 3rd day. But considering the excellent harvest today, I doubt that there will be an extension. College basketball tonight, the Lady Royals on the road at Kings. And let's go to the highlights and see what happened. Opener for the Lady Royals. They're in the purple. Sue Moore to Mary Leedy. She hits from the wing for it. She had 20 points. Lady Royals again. Watch it inside. Leedy to Leanne Groh. Off the glass, she had 14. Scranton again, fast break. Leedy to Moore all the way for 2 points. Now, for Kings, Cheryl Fries, 21 points in a losing effort. The Lady Royals win their opener. The Kings gals are now 0-2. On the board, Lady Royals 77, Lady Monarchs 59, Bloomsburg University, the men 71, Allentown 51. They say that he could be a great one. Darryl Strawberry, named Rookie of the Year today in the National League. No contest. Strawberry hit only .257 for the Mets, but he hit 26 homers, drove in 74 RBI, all after being called up in May. Pitcher Greg McMurtry of Atlanta finished second. Tim Karlson was back with the boys in the bar tonight, talking about the upcoming Eastern Conference playoffs.
Hi, how you doing? Monday night, time for Boys in the Bar. You know, and I got the feeling that these guys down here have some pretty strong opinions about some football games coming up Saturday. Oh, let's find out. Valley West and Berwick on Saturday. Who's going to win it?
I like Valley West, but I think Berwick will beat them. But if Valley West has a game like they had last Friday night, I think they will win.
I think Berwick is going to be down a little bit because I think they were really looking forward to Coughlin.
Why would they be looking forward to Coughlin instead of Valley West?
Coughlin was the last team to beat them.
Berwick's going to win it because Coach Fennell, he don't have nothing. And he don't have anything.
Well, wait a minute, why are you saying that?
Because I'll tell you, he's lucky to be Coughlin.
I see that hat on there. That's not Scranton Prep now. Scranton Prep and Hanover on Saturday. Who do you like in that one?
Oh, Hanover all the way. I'm strictly a Hanover fan. I think it's the best thing for the Wyoming Valley Conference. Hanover getting back into the sports scene. It's going to be good for the school. It's going to turn their program around, and I wish them the best. I hope they go all the way.
Well, Hanover reminds me of GR a couple years ago, and I think Hanover should go all the way, and I think they're going to win big.
Well, you see, I told you, these guys had some pretty strong opinions. You know, you're going to get your chance to do the same next week with Boys in the Bar. I'm Tim Karlson, Newswatch 16 Sports at Patty's Sports Bar in Wilkes-Barre.
It's going to be a big couple of weeks for us here at 16 Sports. Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, we'll be televising the Stroudsburg-East Stroudsburg game live at 10 a.m. And we'll also have reports from that traditional game between Scranton Tech and Scranton Central. Then coming up a week from Saturday, the Eastern Conference Class A title game. We'll be doing that one live at 1:30. Check the Fish and Game forecast for tomorrow. Early on is excellent. The best time to be out is 2 hours from now, so get going. And then a couple of other times tomorrow aren't bad either.
That's too early, my friend.
That sure is.
I mean, 61 degrees tomorrow, but certainly not at 4 a.m. in the morning. Right?
You're right.
Okay, you won't be there, will you?
You're right.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Still ahead, the woman who's walking for peace.
We'll tag along for her story when we come back.
The next big event on NEP, Thanksgiving Day football. WNEP-TV will bring you live and exclusive play-by-play action when the Mountaineers of Stroudsburg take on the Cavaliers of East Stroudsburg. Live and exclusive coverage of traditional Thanksgiving Day football begins at 10 o'clock Thanksgiving Day. Right here, only on WNEP 16, your leader in local sports.
Finally tonight, it seems the danger of war is on just about everyone's mind lately. Newswatch 16's Dan Fiorucci found one woman on the road in Scranton today who's walking around the country to try and keep the peace.
You may have seen her this week walking patiently along Route 307 near Scranton. Her name is Ester John, and she's marching clear across the country to promote world peace.
I'm bringing news across the country, tying people together, which we desperately need. We have many preconceptions about our brothers and sisters in this country and in other countries. And the more heart-to-heart, person-to-person information we get, I think the closer we are to world peace, because we all want peace, really.
When she started her cross-country hike in Seattle on June 1st, Miss John was little known. But now she's meeting people and getting publicity. And even the Secretary General of the United Nations wants to meet her when she finally arrives in New York.
for the most part, the people at the United Nations are very much concerned about world unity. And it seems like there are only a few nations that are really acting in a selfish manner. And I don't point the finger at anybody else, but really we all realize that we're at a turning point here, and I think this will be very successful anyway.
For Ester John, a journey that began 5 or 6 months ago is now down to its last 5 or 6 days. And by the end of this week, this road will take her to where she wants to be before the General Assembly of the United Nations. Dan Fiorucci, Newswatch 16, Scranton.
And that is quite a hike. That is our report for tonight.
Next on Nightline, the day after, a look at the controversial film about nuclear war.
And for the first news of the new day, join Frank Andrews, Dorothy Lucy, Noreen Clark, and Jake Christopher for Newswatch 16 this morning. It all starts at 6:30 in the morning.
For the Update team, thanks for being with us.
Good night.
Good night.